ومنظمة أجندة المرأة الصومالية هي منظمة مهمة أيضا. هنستمع الآن إلى عرض من زميلتنا العزيزة الأستاذة إليزابيث زمبروتيا بشأن هذا المشروع، ونبدأ بعديها جولة من الأسئلة وعلى أساس هذا العرض. شكرا.
If I well understand, you already said that Hands of Cain with other partners are implementing this action, correct?
Yeah, but you will introduce the action.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you. Hands of Cain, I am the treasurer of the,
We don't have here.
That Hands of Cain with the Arab Organization for Human Rights, the Arab Institute for Human Rights, and the Somali Women Agenda will carry out in the next 3 years with an overall goal, which is the goal to contain the scope of the death penalty, or at least securing its lawful application in accordance with international standards and states' obligations and commitments. We have seen also in the workshop today that there are recent developments in Egypt as well as in Tunisia and in Somalia, which signal how many of the achievements in the legal protection of human rights of those facing capital executions may be lost in time of war on terror, resulting in an arbitrary, unlawful, and sometimes in a discriminate use of the death penalty in breach and in violation of international standards and obligations. With this project, with this action, we intend to prevent, minimize, or reverse this negative impact through a set of activities forcing, we hope, alliance with national, regional, and international human rights and legal organizations, building on obligations and commitments undertaken by these 3 countries before the international community. I would like to underline that the method of implementation will prioritize inclusiveness and interactions based on dialogue, on trust among all the actors involved, and embedded in the core of non-derogable principles of human rights as codified in the international law. I firmly believe that the dialogic and pragmatic approach, which was also at the basis of the promotion of a moratorium on executions as a step-by-step movement for the containment of the death penalty, may be useful to address such a very sensitive issue. I may say that the overall method of implementation will therefore be based on a multi-modular and holistic as well as comprehensive approach. And I hope that this methodology will allow an analysis of the death penalty under several aspects. For example, collect statistical data, numbers of death sentence, number of executions, legal, constitutional, and legislative articles, international obligations, political and socio-economic conditions of those facing the death sentence, but also religious cultural and traditional information concerning the use of the death penalty. I would like to underline that we will try to let also people sentenced to death to explain from their point of view what is the death penalty. And we hope to have the possibility, at least in some of these three countries, I repeat, Egypt, Somalia, and Tunisia, to have interview and meetings with people sentenced to death. I said that our action will cover 3 years and aims to target 5 main groups. We will promote and organize different trainings, workshops, and seminars involving, first of all, the judiciary, because, you know, the judiciary is the target group with a primary role in ensuring the proper administration of justice and detention centers in conformity with the international standards. We would like to address and organize trainings also with criminal defense lawyers, because they are crucial in reporting critical capital cases and in providing legal aid and assistance during the proceeding. We will organize trainings also addressed to policymakers, because we intend policymakers as members of the parliament and also members of the government, because of course they have the power to adopt legal reforms. And we hope to achieve also the general public with debates on the use of the death penalty. We will also produce some studies, some further studies, because the Arab Organization for Human Rights has already done a lot of work on this issue, but we can do more. And we will realize different studies on the death penalty that will be at the basis of the training, but also we hope at the basis and useful for a general public debate on the use of the death penalty. Of course, also religious leaders, and in particular in Somalia, clan elders will be involved in this project. And we hope with this action to improve the general conditions in prisons, also in the death row, but we hope also to provide a contribution for the general administration of justice, because we consider prisons and administration of justice a very important part of the rule of law and of the possibility to respect the principles of the rule of law. Of course, stakeholders of this action are all the international and national actors committed to enhance the human dignity. We have listened today that human dignity is a value protected by the Egyptian constitution, as well as this afternoon we have also listened the voice of a representative of Muslim religion, who explained the relevance of the human dignity also for the Muslim religion. And of course, different international organizations will be on board, in particular the European Union, which is the organization financing this action, but we will have on board also representatives of the African Commission for Human and People's Rights, and of course other stakeholders, all of those involved in the protection of human rights. And I repeat, I really hope that we may provide a contribution and we may support an implementation of international standards in this, also in these countries. And I hope that also that this project may strengthen alliance in all the Arab world. So we start from Egypt, Tunisia and Somalia, but our ambition is to impact in the whole Arab region. Thank you very much.
يعني من منطلق تكميلي بهدف
From a continuous point of view to complete the picture, I think part of you know the Arabian Organization for Human Rights. It was founded in 1983. It's the biggest human rights association, and it's the biggest foundation. That means it's give birth or created the other human rights organization like the dear colleagues in the Egyptian Organization for Human Rights, and also the organization have a headquarters in Cairo, and we have a signature and understanding agreement with foreign ministry. It participated a lot, and it activated to protect the human rights, and it also depend also with our partners in human rights. The organization have founded in 89 in Tunisia, and also in the context of working in human rights, the organization have been a leading role in this field and in the field of the social and economic development and of the field to transfer human rights movement in the Arab countries from a small to important role. Also, it's transfer from a protest movement to a proposal power. So the foundation have a burden and experience a lot of challenges. It was in 11 countries, members in the Arab countries, but all the Arab countries under because of its field, and it doesn't have, Wizard Qamar doesn't have association, but maybe the Arab countries can have membership abroad. Anyway, to be able to transfer to a proposal and a protest power, we have faced a lot of challenges, and we proposed a lot of legislative suggestions, including demanding and detailed and recommendations, and also we reached to propose the legislative amendments on the Arab countries' legislation. Also, we proposed a implicit legislation. We can mention in Egypt that we were fast in this period before January 2011, and there are topics and the multiple proposed for the founding in 2012 that unfortunately losing impressive things. Also in proposing constitution of 2011, and also in suggestion and alternative for the torture crime, and also we proposed a legislative proposal like what we referred to the president to reform a committee for the legislative reformation, and then we provided a legislation regarding the on remand prison
ضخم جدا في منطقه الاحتياط وتم الاستجابه.
and they responded to some of this suggestion from the organization. So we do a lot of works, but we don't want to prolong on you, but this result brought also a lot. The execution, we can't retreat from it, we should support it. After implementing the capital execution, we can't take it back, we can't stop it after we execute the person, because as we executed a lot of innocent people wrongly, that means the obligation of the narrowing of the capital sentence is good, and the Article 93 of the Constitution confirm that Egypt is part of the national constitution, and we should continue it. And they also demanded and called it to narrow this capital. So there are efforts have been exerted before the revolution, and this from the start of the 2000. And I think the book that you saw, you can have this book if you didn't. It discussed these studies, and the second edition discuss also this point that reached at talking numbers for the world. Anyway, the project representing a big opportunity in this field, whether in Egypt, in Tunisia, and Somalia, also our will to widen our regional work, to expand it to Arabian countries. I also emphasized in the part in my opening that Egypt are affected. Each important procedure we will take in Egypt will affect the region. Maybe you don't know that we work all over the Arabian countries, like our teacher Magdi Halmi. They have worked a lot in the Arab field, and the law proposed in Egypt, after 1 week it's in Yemen, then in Libya, then in Sudan, and then in a lot of Arab countries, and it's copy. So they copy our legislation. So Egypt affecting all over the region, but even in the harder time, Egypt still affecting the whole Arab countries. So even in Egypt will be the backbone of the Arab countries. So it's very important to build. The most important thing in this phase that we have a legislative transfer phase in activating 2014 constitution. We finished some, but now we should understand how to activate the constitution. We need to work a lot, we need to listen a lot, we need to have a social dialogue to reach our goals. Also, one more important point of the regions is developing the penal Please, I think it's one of the dialogues that we are doing in this workshop. We have participated in the General Conference for Development hosted by the Prime Ministry that results in positive things, and it was endorsed the day before yesterday. We hope that after it we will have a better conference in reforming the law and legislation, so we can develop this definition, and it will be one of the entry to do that. We hope that Egypt provide a model for the Arab countries that will affect them positively. Now we are opening the door for questions, especially our colleagues in the field.
I would like to introduce
أريد أيضا أن أقدم لورا، إنها منسقة المشروع وهي ممثلة اللجنة العالمية لدور القانون. كل منا شركاء ولدينا دور في منظمة قانونية واسمها No Violent Radical Party. لا تقلقوا بالكلمات الكبيرة ولا تقلقوا بكلمة الجزري أو المتطرف، لأن المعنى الأساسي هو الحر وليس المتشدد وليس المتطرف. أرجوك لارا الكلمة لك. شكرا إليزابيث. أريد أيضا أن أتحدث حول الوضع الذي حدث في الأمم المتحدة. أعتقد أن من هذه وجهة النظر شكرا إليزابيث وشكرا آلا وشكرا محمد، وأشكر فعلا المنظمة العربية لحقوق الإنسان والمجلس الوطني لحقوق الإنسان والمجلس المصري لحقوق الإنسان. في البداية أنا أشكر لكل المشاركون. أعتقد من الرائع جدا أن نستمع منكم، وأعتقد أننا المنظمات التي ذكرتها إليزابيث وجد أن الأمر أيضا مثير جدا، لأنكم قلتم أن مصر قد عانت من صورة سلبية عنها في الماضي والآن، وأعتقد من المثير جدا أن نرى اليوم أن نسمع وجهة نظركم ونتعلم منكم، لأن الكثير من الأشياء المذكورة لم نعلمها، ونرى كم كنتم مستعدون لهذه ورشة العمل. ولا أتحدث عن المنظمون الذين نتوقع منهم التحضير، ولكن أيضا الكثير من المشاركون أعدوا كلمة رائعة، وأعتقد أن هذه الكلمة كانت رائعة لنا، ليس فقط العودة لإيطاليا وأملا بأن ندعم هذه الأفكار ونبث هذه الأفكار في الراديو والتلفزيون الإيطالي عن ما يحدث في مصر، ولكن أيضا لأن عملكم يعمل على حملة تسمى الحملة من أجل الانتقال المشترك للوصول إلى سيادة القانون، وفكرتنا أن نجلب الناس من الغرب ومن أوروبا، حينما ينظرون إلى الجزء الآخر من العالم ويقولون أن عليكم أن تطبقوا القانون، فحينما تنظر إلى بلدنا في إيطاليا، نعم لدينا عقوبة الآن، لديكم مشكلة. إيطاليا لم تضع أو تعرف نوع جريمة التعذيب في تشريعها. نحن نعلم أننا وقعنا على الالتزام الدولي، ولكن مع مرور الأعوام لم يقوموا بذلك. لذا أعتقد أنه يمكن أن نتحدث معكم عن تجنب أو إلغاء عقوبة الإعدام، ولكن يمكن أن تعودوا إلى إيطاليا وتنتقدوا أنهم لا يوجد لديهم عقوبة ضد التعذيب، أو أنهم حتى لا يطبقون عقوبة التعذيب. لذا هي أفكارنا أن كل البلاد وكل بلد في هذا الوقت إذا أرادت أن تنتقل إلى الأمام من التشدد والتطرف، وإذا أردنا أن نستجيب لمكافحة الإرهاب ونعطي الديمقراطية فرصة، يجب أن نلتزم بحقوق الإنسان، ويجب أن نجعل سيادة القانون مبدأنا نتنفسها ونعيش بها. اليوم لا يوجد أي بلد مثالية في هذا السياق، ولكنني أعتقد أنني سعيدة جدا لكوني هنا، وأعتقد أننا أضفنا جزءا في هذه الحملة الذي نحاول أن ندعمه، وهو الانتقال المشترك. وأعتقد أن هذا هو المسار الجيد. ما نحاول أن نقوم به على مستوى الأمم المتحدة وعلى مستوى كل البلاد، أن يكون لدينا حوارا ويكون لدينا فهم، ونجعل كل مواطن يعلم ما يحدث على مستوى الحكومة ومستوى السياسات، فيكون هناك مناظرات ومناقشات اجتماعية، والكثير من المشكلات يأتي من نقص المعلومات. لذا نحن نتحدث فقط عن بعض قواعد المعلومات، ولكن هناك الكثير من الأحداث التي تحدث في مناطق مختلفة يجب جمع معلومات عنها. بداية من اليوم، بداية من الحديث حول الإصلاحات لعقوبة الإعدام في القانون الجنائي في مصر، يمكن أن نبدأ في عمل مستمرة متعددة حتى نصل ليس فقط لمصر وليس للإقليم أو العربي، ولكن لإيطاليا ولأوروبا وللعالم الثري. شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا. طيب احنا بس عشان احنا اليوم كان طويل جدا.
Okay, they have been so long for us and for you, so we will have a very short quick question if you want to ask.
يعني الأمور واضحة كفاية.
Okay, so it's clear. You don't need to ask.
الزرار الأحمر.
The red button.
أيوة.
Peace upon all of you. I am the chief editor of El Mesa newspaper. They are talking about a youth guarantee, about the capital sentence. We should talk about guarantee. We are talking about better guarantees, but we will not say it's a contradict with Islamic religion. There is context in the Islam that guarantee that we should also take into consideration that our societies depend on Islam. So when we say we will demolish the capital sentence, we should teach them first to stop the vengeance and I want to explain something. The project doesn't say to demolish it. The project aims to limit the usage of the capital sentence, not demolishing it, just limiting, decreasing the use of it and restricting it, not demolishing it. We understand that the Arab countries also, it's still early to talk about demolition. We understand that there is a social economic situation that is not prepared the country to accept that. Even our culture that accepted, so it's an obstacle against that. And I think our colleague from Sohag, and we asked him directly, do you think the capital sentence in Sohag? He is a journalist and he worked in the reconciliation between the families in the murder cases. We asked him, did they stop the murder? He said, no, the capital sentence didn't stop the murder in Sohag. So we can't demolish it, but we can imagine, we can, after a lot of work, we can achieve that later in the future. But we can reach a society that doesn't have capital sentence and doesn't use it. Do you have other questions? Do you have another question? Floor is yours, Mr. Hassan. It's just one sentence question. The outcomes of the conference. How will you activate it? The outcomes and the finding of the conference. Do you have any other questions? Mr. Wael. Capital sentence, whether international organization or national organization, they take approach and organize this continuous campaign. It's not a seasonal campaign. So what do you add? Or the new thing, in addition to العفو, organization, whether on the database, whether on the country level, do you target a specific region or a specific countries like the Middle East, or you also, there is countries like America implementing the capital execution, and also France. One of the speakers in France said it's a ban on the constitution to implement capital sentence, but also the constitution in fighting terrorism, like now, not only in the Arab countries, also in the Arab region. The last accident, one person ran over a group of people in France. So what should we do with this person? And will the European society understand this idea? Because everyone respect its religion, whether Islam or Christian, and the capital sentence exists in our religions. Also regarding to use the sentence and policy in some countries, we also reject that. As a European community, how do you perceive the new development and regarding the terrorist challenge happen on the Arab countries?
Well, we have sense of Kane. We have a global campaign
لدينا حملة عالمية
for a universal moratorium on executions.
لمحاربة أو تقليل الإعدام في العالم، وهذا لكل البلدان في العالم.
We decided
وقد قررنا أن نقدم ونعرض هذا المشروع في 3 بلدان، في مصر وتونس والصومال، لأننا رأينا أن هناك حركة جديدة جدا لمحاربة الإرهاب، وهناك حالة طوارئ تم إعلانها، وهذا شيء
we pay a lot of attention to this, as Laura explained before,
كما شرحت سابقا، لأن هناك اليوم مشكلة عالمية وهي مشكلة الإرهاب، وهناك أيضا ميل دولي إلى مواجهة هذه المشكلة وإعلان حالة الطوارئ. ونحن نعتقد أن دور القانون أن يكون هناك الطريقة الأفضل لاحتواء والتعامل مع مشكلة الإرهاب. لهذا نحن نخاطب عملية عقوبة الإعدام من خلال رؤية تطبيق دور القانون بما يخص ليس فقط مصر وبلدان الشرق الأوسط، ولكن أيضا البلدان الأوروبية. أعتقد أننا نقوم بحملات ليس فقط لهذا البلد ولكن أيضا في إيطاليا. أنا أستطيع أن أقول أنني أعيش في سجن لأن كل يومين أو 3 أيام أنا أزور السجون الإيطالية، لأنها في وضع متدنٍ جدا. ونحن نعلم أنه إذا استطاعت الدولة تحسين أوضاع السجون، هذا أيضا ستتحسن وزارة العدل، وأيضا المجتمع والحكومة ستتحسن بشكل عام. لذا فنحن فقط لا نستهدف هذا البلد ولكنه نستهدف في كل البلدان بشكل يومي وبشكل مستمر. ولذا شكرا على سؤالك. أيضا there was also a question
احنا عندنا خطة أساسية.
There was also a question from Mr. Hazem. We have a plan that tomorrow we will the workshop chief will propose a recommendation, and this draft will be adopted from the workshop and it will be announced. Also, we will depend on the workshop through a report and a summary for the finding of the discussions and the output of this workshop that is practical and can be amended. We will propose it for the stakeholder agency for the legislation, and they can use it. And also we will propose that there will be other sessions to deal with the parliamentary and the stakeholder ministries to discuss some of the proposed issues. Today was rich and fruitful, and we hope tomorrow's session will be fruitful like that. We saw a good proposed and discussion, and we saw a fruitful discussion and dialogue. I thank you a lot, and if you don't have any question, we will conclude the session, and we want to congratulate the Arabian Association for Human Rights and for your distinctive attendance to cover
وهدفنا من هذا أن يكون إن شاء الله تفضيل العلاقة مع الإعلام.
To have a good relation with the media. Also, you have participated well. We believe that the relation between human rights and the media is very important relation. Always human rights need media to participate in the reforming the existing condition and to develop it and to enforce it. And we always the media need law people to support them in the free speech. This relation we are supporting since 1990, since the press syndicate incident, and we have been cooperating for so long. Thanks a lot, and we will start to call the names to symbolic. We want Thanks.
الأستاذة حنين
Thanks.
السلموني.
Ms. حليم السلموني.
الأستاذ إيهاب كاسب. الأستاذة أماني نوار. الأستاذة فاطمة الزهراء محمد. الأستاذ محمد السيد الشاذلي. الأستاذة لبنى عبد الباسط. ليلى عبد الباسط، عفوا. أستاذ محمد مجدي الشريف. شكرا جزيلا لحضرتك، شكرا. أستاذة هبة سالم. أستاذة منى عبيد. أستاذة سارة سمير. أستاذ علي الحوفي. أستاذة هاجر حسني. شكرا. أستاذة سلوى عبد الرحمن. أستاذ أحمد مجاهد. أستاذ مصطفى بدوي الخطيب. أستاذ وائل. This is the prominent journalist.
اتفضل في النص بقى كده
يلا.
شكرا.
أستاذ أمجد.
استاذ امجد فتحي.
رائع.
في النص. طيب
ما احنا كلنا تصور براحتك حاضر. ما احنا هناخد صورة جماعية مع بعض. احنا عايزين ناخد
اتفضلوا.
احنا عايزين ناخد صورة جماعية مع بعض. ماشي؟ نيجي
Group
الناحية
picture.
دي. الثاني نشيل
Have a seat.
كراسي وعايزين ناخد صورة. فين بقى؟ نترك شوية. تعال.
شكرا. سعداء جدا، شرفتونا.